Good evening, everybody. I hope everybody had a great weekend. Today, we're going to talk about which Panther should you buy for yourself. So, we're going to get started right off the bat. So, obviously, you guys know that there's the Lincoln Town Car, the Mercury Grand Marquis, and then the Crown Victoria. The Crown Vic and the Grand Marquis are both available in base model. Then you have the LX trim with the leather and all that. And then you also have the sport models, which are only available from the years 2002 until 2006. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. And then obviously right in front of us, we have the Ford Crown Victoria Police Interceptor, which was available in street appearance package and just regular Police Interceptor package form, which we have right in front of me right here. So what we're going to start with, folks, is the comfort. So obviously the Lincoln Town Car, if comfort is very important to you, you may want to go towards the Town Car because it has air ride suspension, dual power seats, extra comfortable leather seating compared to even the Mercury Grand Marquis and the regular Crown Victoria from what I'm told. And then obviously as you work your way down to the trims, the LX trim and then the regular trim, the Ultimate Edition trim in the Grand Marquis. Some of them come with air springs or air ride suspension, some of them do not. And then just regular leather is standard, or I should say pleather. It's kind of a mixture of leather and vinyl, I think, to my knowledge, for the leather seating in the regular Panther cars. Then obviously as you move on to the Crown Victoria Police Interceptor, what you have here, and excuse my car, it is absolutely filthy. I've been driving it a lot this weekend. You have the standard bucket seats, which are still quite comfortable. Honestly, I find these somewhat more comfortable and a little bit more supported than I did the standard base model Grand Marquis used to have, so that's something to keep in mind. But generally speaking, you go from Lincoln Town Car to the Crown Vic LX or the Grand Marquis Ultimate Edition. Then you go to the base model. Generally speaking, it's going to have a couple more creature comforts, but generally the base model and the Police Interceptor are almost option the same as far as comfort level goes. The only thing is you have to deal with on the Police Interceptor is you have to deal with the rubber flooring and vinyl back seat and also the bucket seats. But honestly, I prefer the bucket seats, and cruise control is not always a common feature on a Police Interceptor. Next, we're going to talk about is reliability. So, if you want my personal opinion on which of the vehicles are probably more reliable, you're going to be looking at the Mercury Grand Marquis Ultimate Edition or just any civilian-owned Panther. At that point, you're going to be looking at the Crown Vic, Grand Marquis, and Lincoln Town Car for reliability. The only thing that's known to go out in cars with the airbags is the airbags are prone to needing to be replaced more often, but it's very common for those to get replaced with normal coil springs afterwards. So reliability-wise, all the regular Panthers are pretty good, and you can get a very, very, very reliable police model, but you've really got to know what to look for in these. Normally, if you're buying a police model, you're going to be due to get a couple extra repairs that you didn't expect to end up having. So if you buy a police model, make sure you set aside a little bit of extra money. But still, these cars are very, very reliable anyways. But like I said, you've really, really got to watch and know what you're looking for when it comes to the Police Interceptor cars, especially if they used to be a former patrol vehicle. If they were a detective vehicle like this or anything administrative-wise, then you don't have to be as careful because the cars, when they were in police service, are still very well maintained and whatnot. And you can also check out my other video, the top 5 most common issues that you will face with a Panther body. Now, next thing we're going to talk about is performance. Performance on the cars is obviously a little bit different, but your worst performing vehicles are going to be the standard Crown Victoria Grand Marquis models. And something a lot of people may not know is the Lincoln Town Car has the same 327 gearing, albeit open differential. This one has locking or limited slip differential, sorry. The Lincoln Town Car actually has a 327 gear in it. So the Lincoln Town Car has a little bit more get up and go than your standard base model Crown Victorias and Grand Marquis, whether it's Ultimate Edition or LX. And then the sport models of the Grand Marquis and the Crown Victorias came with the 327 open differential as well. So that's something to keep in mind. If performance is your thing, definitely go for the Police Interceptor model. They have stiffer suspension, just more rugged all the way around, better gearing, limited slip in the back, and they have 250 horsepower instead of 239 or 224, depending on which options you have of another Panther. And they're just tuned a little bit differently, so you get a couple extra 100 RPM out of them. So performance is your big thing. Definitely go for a police model, regardless of it's a street appearance package or a regular Police Interceptor package that you have in front of me. Both of them are going to have the same suspension, springs, rear sway bar automatically comes with it, bigger front sway bar, all that stuff. So if you enjoy performance, police model it is. All the other ones, unfortunately, are definitely not performance oriented. And even saying a Crown Vic in general is performance oriented is a bit of a stretch, but the police did have to use these and catch the bad guys with them. Next thing we're going to talk about is the gas mileage. The gas mileage on each of the Panthers is a little bit different, actually. So while the 327 gear is, in my opinion, the best for getting around, going up and down hills and stuff, it will suffer a bit on the highway. So with the Lincoln Town Car and stuff, like I said, they have the 327 gearing, so you'll probably get a little bit better gas mileage just riding around town and whatnot with the Lincoln Town Car versus the base model LX, or sorry, just the standard LX or Crown Victoria trim, or the Grand Marquis or the Luxury Grand Marquis trim. Because they have 273 gears, and then with 273 it doesn't even shift into fourth gear, if I remember right, until about 45 RPM. So that's something to keep in mind. It likes to hold on to that third gear for a long time before the torque lockout kicks in and shifts the car on you. So I find for driving around, you'd probably get the best gas mileage on average with the Lincoln Town Car. But with the 273s and even the Lincoln Town Car, I think you can still expect about 19 to 21 mile per gallon average mix between sitting and driving. When you move, it just depends on how much highway driving you do and whatnot. With highway only driving, I would definitely suggest getting a car with the 273 gears, because you could definitely get yourself 26, 27 mile per gallon. Usually no problem, as long as you don't drive crazy. Now, when you move on to the Crown Vic Police Interceptor, just because of their gearing and whatnot, or sorry, not necessarily just because of their gearing, but because of the tune and whatnot, they're meant to idle higher, meant to hold the gears a little bit longer. These cars unfortunately tank when it comes to the gas mileage on the highway compared to the other vehicles. These you can expect about 15 in the city, probably 17 to 18 and a half just mixed driving, and only about 22 mile per gallon on the highway. So the Police Interceptor, I definitely say, is about 15 to 20% worse in the gas mileage department compared to the other vehicles. So I hope that while this video may not have been the most informative in the world, I do hope it helped you guys gauge on what you want. And the other thing is too, that I wanted to talk about, is just the driving characteristics. So like I said, this police model is obviously going to be stiffer than all the other ones. The regular Crown Vic Grand Marquis, it's going to be about a medium on the stiffness, and then obviously the Lincoln Town Car is meant to just be the cushy, floating on air style ride that you can get. So really, it's all up to you. There's not a such thing as a bad Panther car to pick up. They each are just a little bit different than the others, and it's good to be informed about those and decide on what you want. Which Panther would you guys like to buy if you had the choice to buy one brand new and get it for free? Let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe, obviously, for more Crown Vic videos and whatever else I upload throughout the day, or sorry, throughout the week here and there. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I do hope it was informative enough to help you guys out in the future. Thank you all for watching. Have a good one.